What's up, everyone? This is Wolves Rain here, and I'm trying to keep my resolution to do these bi weekly videos, I guess, as I called it in my channel update. And so I just wanted to make just a quick video about Pokemon Violet. The game's been out for a couple months now. There's been so many videos about it from different YouTubers and news outlets already. So my video isn't necessarily anything special, but I just did want to give my thoughts on the game because I haven't really played that many Pokemon games. The Pokemon game I played to completion, actually the only one I played to completion, was Pokemon Go. It was Pokemon Go Pikachu on the Nintendo Switch, and I loved it. Not only for the fact that it was nostalgic because it was pretty much just a remake of the Red and Blue games. So you had the original 152 Pokemon, but I just like the mechanics of it. I like that you could just throw Pokeballs at Pokemon to catch them like you would in the Pokemon Go mobile app. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. But that was the only Pokemon game I really played to completion. I played some of Pokemon Ruby back on the Game Boy, and I played Pokemon XY on the 3DS. But that's really all that I've played of the Pokemon games. I'm a fan of Pokemon. I just haven't played much of the games. And so this is kind of my first, I guess you could say, mainstream Pokemon game that I've played in a while. If you don't count Pokemon Go Pikachu Edition. And so, what are my thoughts on it? Well, my initial thoughts when I started playing it is I was actually really impressed by it. I thought the world looked really nice and it was fun to explore. And when I went to the school setting, I was kind of blown away by it because it was so vast and there were so many shops and so many shops to shop at. And the school itself, there are all these classrooms and to visit and classes to take, and I was really overwhelmed by it. And the thing is that initial city, the game does a good job of impressing you with that initial city. Because the developers, they put the most time, I feel like, into the school because there's all these different rooms to visit, and there's each room is you're able to enter each room and take all these different classes, and the city surrounded it is really vast and has all these shops. Well, that's pretty much the peak, I would say, of the cities. The cities in this game, and I'm getting to the negatives right away because I do want to get the negatives out of the way first. The cities in this game are really nothing memorable. They're not like, and I've only played, a couple other Pokemon games, but they're not like the other Pokemon games. There's only maybe a couple that I vividly recall, like one with the windmills and one with these fountains near a lake. But that's it as far as these cities. The cities really are a downgrade in this one, and I feel like it has to do with the developers rushing the game, and not being able to put as much time as they could into the cities because, and a lot of people have mentioned this when you go to the stores. You can't even enter the store. It just brings up a menu. I think the only store you can enter is the sandwich shop. And then, of course, there's the gyms in the city that you can enter. But that's it. You can't go into people's houses. You can't go into other shops. So you can't explore inside of buildings and talk to people. And that was one of my favorite parts of visiting the cities in the other games was you could go inside and talk to people and get special items. You could kind of explore around. And the gyms, too, in the past games, you would go in and you would fight a series of trainers in the gym. and it built up to be really epic. I've only done 2 gyms so far, but when you enter the gym, you just talk to somebody, and they tell you to go back outside, and you have to complete like a little mini game. Um, like I think one of the mini games that I remember was you had to find a bunch of these little Sunflora, this Pokemon named Sunflora. And then after that, you go back and talk to the person in the gym, and then you immediately just it cuts to a Pokemon battle with the trainer. And I thought that was really kind of a disappointment that you didn't have the gyms like in the past games, where you'd go in and they'd be these elaborate gyms that you could explore inside. All the gyms now are just a lobby that you enter, and you immediately just go and fight the trainer after you've done the mini game. The actual mini game just takes place around the city. So that was pretty disappointment, and I would put that as a negative towards the game. Again, I feel like this is because the developers had to rush, and this is what they could be able to put out. Um, all their attention, went into that school area. They tried to make that look as good as possible, and then all the other cities, they just kind of had to make do. This is a really huge game. I'll give it that. That's one of the positives about it is it's a huge game. I get obsessive with exploring everywhere and catching all the new Pokemon. That hasn't changed. The thrill of catching Pokemon, battling, that has not changed. That's still pretty much the same as it was in, the older games. There is kind of when you go into battle, there is a free roaming camera, so you can see all the Pokemon and the battles going on. And of course, this is the first open world Pokemon game, and it really is. I mean, you can explore anywhere. You might not be able to explore anywhere that you want without being a certain level, because you might run into Pokemon that are way, way higher than your level. But for the most part, it is an open world game where you can just explore, and it is a lot of fun to explore and find the shiny Pokemon and the Terra Pokemon, as they call it, and compete in Terra battles. Find trainers. There's this thing where you can set up picnics where you can make sandwiches that give you powers like experience boosts and such. You can make all these different sandwiches with different ingredients, and you can wash your Pokemon. And there really is a lot to this game. It's the little things that just bother me. For one, when and going back to a negative here, I'm sorry that this impression or review is not very structured, but going back to a negative here, like I said, when I first played the game, I thought that it looked pretty good, and now I'm looking at it again, and it really does not look good at all. It looks better on the handheld, when you're playing handheld on the Switch. But put it up to TV, it is blurry. The pop in is awful. The frame rate, especially like in the cities with people walking, is not good. It does not look good. It really just makes the game feel less alive. For such a big open world, this game world does feel like lifeless in a way, and just with the fact that you can't enter shops, the frame rate is rough, and it just looks bad. I mean, when you roam past the mountains just do this weird uh, flowing, moving thing. I don't know. It's like a glitch or something, and like the textures all look awful, like the grass and the trees and the bushes. It's just not a very good looking game at all, and it does distract you, um, you know, from really being immersed in this world. Now the gameplay itself, I mean, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's Pokemon. One thing that I do wish they had kind of not kept from the past games is how you catch Pokemon, the way you catch Pokemon is the same as it's always been. You whittle the Pokemon down to some low health and you throw a Pokeball and catch it. Well, I liked it in Pokemon Go where you could just throw Pokeballs and just catch them. That was a lot easier because now the problem is if your Pokemon team is strong, and let's say like I have like a level 33 Pokemon right now, and I find a Pokemon I haven't caught yet, and he's like a level 7 Pokemon. Well, it's hard to tell if you're gonna completely decimate this Pokemon in like one turn, and not being able to catch it. Like, it's hard to tell. Like, I kind of have to experiment and hope that they don't just kill the Pokemon instantly, or they take enough shots to whittle it down, where I can throw a Pokeball and catch it. And that's kind of an issue because I went down one area, like I did, like the Rock Titan, and I went down to one of the gyms, and it was the levels of the Pokemon were pretty in level with mine. But then I went back in the opposite direction to the left of the world, where you first start out as, and here I am with this level 30 Pokemon, and I'm running to level 7 Pokemon, or level 10, and it's not very balanced. Like, I know they had to do that because they didn't know where the player was going to start out at, in the game. But it kind of makes it hard to catch Pokemon. I mean, you could just use lower level Pokemon and put them in your party and just swap between parties. But it's just kind of it's kind of a hassle. I mean, I just like to stay with one party and just keep that party throughout the whole game. Although I did find in this game I was switching out Pokemon more, just because I couldn't decide which ones I like. There is a lot of great Pokemon in this game. I am still drawn to the original 152 because that's what I'm just nostalgic for. That's the Pokemon that I experienced when I was growing up. So I don't really exactly know what Pokemon are new in this game because most of these Pokemon that I've seen are new to me because I've only played just a handful of the games. So I don't know which Pokemon are new. I can't really comment on that. Some other disappointments that I can think of with this game is trainer customization. You cannot change your clothes. Like, I think you can change your socks, your shoes, your backpack, and your hat. But you can't change your pants. You can't change your shirt. You're stuck in this school uniform. And I know that's just a little minor thing, but I really would like to just change my clothes and put on different clothes and just customize my trainer more. Even in the 3DS games, I mean, you could pick different clothes for your trainer. So I don't know why they did that. If they just didn't want to put in the effort to have clothes shops like that, but it just makes customization kind of boring with the trainer. And these shops, like I said, these shops in these cities are just boring because they're just the same thing over and over again. It's the sandwich shop where you buy sandwich ingredients, or you go and get the socks. It's the same type of the same type of shops, and there's so many of them for some reason. I don't know why they felt the need to put so many shops in these cities when they're just repeated. They're repeated after the other. They might have the same kind of shop 2 or 3 times in the same city that sells the same items. And I really wish they had just spent less time on just putting all these shops up and just maybe taking time to just having just a few shops and being able to go in them and explore and talk to people. If they had just put that effort in, I don't know why they felt the need to just litter the city with repetitive shops. You don't need one shop for sandwich fillings, another shop for condiments, another shop for bread or whatever. I'm not sure if they have a shop for bread. I can't remember, but it just makes it overcomplicated. and I haven't really, although the picnic thing is really cool, it's cool to make sandwiches. I haven't really figured out exactly what the powers are, or like, I guess, you can boost experience. I know that, or it allows you to catch different Pokemon. And I guess if you're a hardcore Pokemon, enthusiast, and you want to try to catch shiny Pokemon and or such and such, then you'd probably, utilize this to your advantage. I'm a casual Pokemon player, so I'm not sure how exactly to get into it. I just like to make different sandwiches. I just think it's cool in that way. But yeah, I haven't talked enough about the positives of this game. But this game, like I said, it's a lot of fun. The three different storylines are really neat. There's not just one storyline where you got to go beat all the gyms and beat the bad guys, or whatever team they're on. There is still, I guess you can say, quote unquote, bad guys in this game, and you have to fight their bases. I've only fought in one base so far, so I can't exactly comment on that much. Um, but that's one of the storylines. The other storyline is you're taking on these giant Titan Pokemon and searching for them. And then the other storyline, Champion Road, is just the standard one where you just finding all the gems and getting all the badges. And so the three different storylines is really cool. It kind of lets you pick what you want to do, and you choose what you want to do and which storyline you want to pursue. And if you want to get all the gym badges first, you can do that. If you want to go fight a Titan and then go find a base to attack, you can do that. And what's really cool is exploring the world. You can do in what's called a Pokemon Go mode, where you actually throw your lead Pokemon out and have him explore and kind of auto battle. So he'll just auto battle Pokemon, and that way you just gain experience while you're exploring without having to stop and just battle, battle, battle. Because all the Pokemon are out in the world to see, and there's no random battles. You just have to pick which Pokemon you want to fight. If you don't want to fight them, you can avoid them completely. You can pick which trainer you want to fight. You don't have to fight the trainers along the rows. It's all pretty much optional. You just kind of choose how you want to play, and I really like the open-endedness of that of the gameplay. So the core gameplay itself has not changed. It's fun. Um, Lots of different ways to play it. Again, I just wish the game looked better. I just wish the graphics were better. I know that's, I don't know how much that is to ask, and I do wish, it ran better too. It does, the frame rate, like I said, is not good. It does not, the frames per second, it does not run very well. And of course, there's all the videos on the internet of all the glitches. Now, I haven't experienced any glitches really so far, which has been thankful. And I've been playing mostly handheld. And like I said, with the handheld, it's not really a big issue. I don't really notice the graphics as much and the frame rate, but playing on the TV is just awful. And that seems to be the case with these Switch games. I've heard Bayonetta 3 is really bad. Like, it's just a blur, and it looks awful. We really just need a more powerful Switch. They need to release the Switch 2, or whatever the next Switch is going to be called. But yeah, despite these disappointments, I am having a good time with the game. Just, exploring, finding all the different Pokemon. Just taking my time with it, playing a little bit at a time and just taking it as it is, even if it does have, some faults to it. I'd say it's still, an okay game. Is it the best Pokemon game? No. Is it a good game? It depends on, what you qualify as a good game. If you like Pokemon, it's fun. It's got a lot of issues, and if you can't get over that, then it might not be the game for you. Just thought of another positive. I do like that you can find, spawn points around the world, and you can just fly to them. So I don't know if that was in the last game, Sword and Shield, or not. I haven't played that one, but I do like that I can just fly to different destinations that I've already explored. That makes exploring a lot easier, and just the game is fast paced. The Pokemon that you ride is great, because you can just speed through the game world and just speed through the towns if you wanted to do that. I think the design is a little weird. The wheels is a bit strange, but the fact that you can upgrade that riding Pokemon, I think, is a neat addition. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, just let me know your thoughts on Pokemon. If you played it, do you like it? Do you want the game? Or have you played the game? Have you beat it? Just let me know in the comments below. And again, thank you for watching.